Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, and Rovi, and today we're going to talk about more AI products.
This is like the motherlode of all AI videos.
Yeah, this one's interesting because about half of these I use on a regular basis.
Yeah, we figured it's been a while since we've like talked to AI because it was like
a while. It was like 2 days.
It's been like a week. That's a long time. The last few months, like I'd say starting in December, since ChatGPT was released, it was like nonstop AI. We even just released probably one of our best interviews with Personal AI
today,
who also made the cut of this list we're about to show to you guys.
Yeah.
Very useful AI apps, probably going to be household name applications or pretty high probability of such because they're so useful.
Yeah, I mean, you were asking me, what was the question you were asking me about, like the value proposition that AI has? And I explained to you is like if we have our previous generation who grew up without the internet, right?
Yeah.
We grew up with the internet. We're way more advanced than the previous generation because we had access to information.
Yes.
The next generation who is leveraging AI and those who are not are going to have an exponential difference in terms of output and value than those people who are just accessing Google
I see.
to like answer and do work.
Yeah, so basically like the shifts of paradigms between those three generations is like stage one is like where you had the opportunity to basically pick one of your specialties and like dedicate your whole life.
Yeah.
To being part of that. Like, oh, you know, I'm a very good writer, so like that's my life. That's stage one. Stage two is now because of the internet, you have access to kind of like you could be everything.
Yeah.
And be like you have multiple specialties and therefore you're much more valuable as a person.
Yes.
You know, stage three though is basically you don't have to actually have any of those skills. You have godlike powers at this point because the AI becomes everything before you. Like they can produce all that same value on behalf
like
of your own thoughts.
In the same time you can write a blog article or a book, you can do that in probably half the time or less with AI. Yeah,
which is fucking tremendous benefit to society. Yeah. It's going to accelerate like just everything, our understanding, the wisdom of the human collective, period, right? That is, I think, the ultimate goal.
For sure.
And that's AI is going to help us bring that out even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, imagine like the person who gets sick and was like, oh, I got to go to the doctor. And then your child's like, what? Just ask AI, like tell it your symptoms. It'll tell you exactly. It'll probably write a prescription for you.
Yeah.
And like you just go pick up the medicine, you're done.
Yeah, and AI doesn't get like pissed off. It's like, dude, you know, like a real doctor's like, dude, I'm off right now. I don't want to be fucking dealing with this shit.
Yeah, so you gotta show up in middle of the week. You gotta take off work to go to the doctor. Like it's a nuisance.
Correct.
But with AI, it's just gonna know everything. It's gonna know more things better than a human would know.
Yeah. So you were telling me off cam is like, so basically, if you don't understand yet the importance of like being up to date on this AI movement, basically you're gonna get left in the dust if you just ignore it and
big time.
You just let it happen. You know, and you decide not to participate.
I have the same sentiment about AI that I do with people getting left in the dust with Bitcoin. Because we're a crypto focused channel.
We are.
And like I think if you don't have Bitcoin, I think you're missing the boat and you're gonna miss it and there's no going back. The same thing with AI. If you're not learning the tools that are coming out, you're just going to get left in the dust. And then all of a sudden you're going to be too scared to use it, to learn it and all that stuff. And
then you're going to vilify it and you're going to make it look like it's this big bad thing that needs to be toppled.
So many people on Twitter, they're vilifying AI as if it's going to like eliminate all the creatives.
Yeah.
Like it's just ridiculous. These are tools for creatives.
Okay. So tools. So basically if you're a creative type or if you don't want to lose your value as a human being, basically you better start learning how to use these things, right?
Yeah.
And start outputting some value with them.
It's very
important. Let's get into this. What do we got here, dude?
All right, so the first one up, Personal AI. So we interviewed Suman. He's the CEO of Personal AI. Just came out today, by the way, March 1st.
The interview did,
The interview day, yeah. And they just released a huge update. The Personal.ai app is now free. So, but you have to join a wait list, but it's a free application. But what does it do? So think of Personal AI as your personal artificial intelligence. You basically train it with your own thoughts, your own YouTube videos, your own stuff. And it basically remembers everything that you've trained it with. And you can ask it questions in a sort of like a command line interface. Like, what did I do, 3 years ago where I was using this application and it gave me all the answers. You ask it that, and it'll tell you, oh, you were using, Stability AI, or you were using ChatGPT at that time, and whatever it is. But it remembers everything.
Yeah.
So it's a way better version of a personal Siri. Siri is connected to the internet. It kind of gives you some answers.
So an assistant, in other words.
It's like, your personal assistant. Yeah,
that's one way to leverage it, right? It can become a lot of things. Like
that's one way. Yeah.
Yeah, but probably the most obvious way it's going to be leveraged is an assistant that knows the most about you. Then even like if you had like a human assistant around, like you don't want to tell it everything about you. You want to maintain some privacy. And the cool thing about personal AI is they're leveraging blockchain. They just announced today.
Yeah.
With Oasis Network, because that's a whole security concern.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
If you're going to be feeding AI so much personal information, you want to be sure
that no central component exists to mine that data.
Mine it, or for it to get leaked out, and all of a sudden your identity is compromised, everything that...
Your thoughts and desires are all exposed.
Yeah, so a Web3... decentralization component provides a lot of safety net to this type of technology. So it's good to see personal AI going down that path, because that strengthens one of our theses of the year, that AI and blockchain will merge and coexist, and they will help each other thrive.
Is merging.
True.
Yeah,
it's already happening.
And another use case, just before we move on to the next one, is a community AI. Like the community can contribute to the training of this community AI. Like, say, for example, our project MetaZone or Rovi can contribute all the Reddit posts, all the YouTube videos, everything contributed to this AI. And now the community can ask is like, how do I get started with MetaZone? How do I get started with Rovi? All of a sudden, it's like it's a main member of the community just answering all these questions.
Yeah. So that's the to be determined route to how valuable this can become. It can become huge. Personal AIs can be curated and basically destined for very specific niche purposes, like you're saying, being actual governors of entire ecosystems, like because they're gonna have so much more knowledge than any other human in the room. So that's my hope end game goal of like seeing where this can go.
Not only that, I can access your personal AI.
True.
I was like, what would iMan do if he knew about this cryptocurrency?
So yeah, basically we recommend getting in early on this type of stuff. Create your personal AIs, start curating your knowledge and existence base into them. And because, that's one of the things, if you're early on, you could find many ways to leverage and potentially monetize down the road.
Yeah, I mean, we have tons of videos on our channel. I mean, I think we still need to upload all the YouTube videos to personal AI, but eventually we can ask it questions about videos that we've done over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And like, this is extremely useful. All right, going on to the next one, Extractify. So this one, you can generate Twitter and LinkedIn content from your YouTube videos. So this is very useful for us. We use it all the time. Basically summarizes our videos in a tweet format.
Yeah, which is kind of wild because it does it so quickly. And it's not like we're feeding it transcripts either. You just simply put in the URL to the video link.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of parameters, you link your own Twitter's profile so that supposedly it like analyzes all of your previous tweet history and then generates like a tone from with that.
That's right.
And I tried it. It did a good job of summarizing everything, but it didn't do as much of a good job at getting my voice across.
Yeah.
But that's probably my fault because I don't tweet as much as I should.
Yeah.
If you're a hardcore tweeter, I recommend you trying this out to see like how accurate it is,
Yeah, so that's one that we use pretty regularly.
And if you're not, to me, the takeaway was like, dude, this makes social media so much more valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no way to replicate your own thought, your own delivery of thought.
Right.
Without having an abundance of like content to reference.
And on top of that, we're not really tweeters.
That's what I mean.
And so this eliminates that barrier to like get started on tweets.
That too. I would just love it to tweet on my behalf. And yeah, AI will do that for sure. It already is.
Yeah. All right, Jasper AI, that's another one that we use. So Jasper AI, it could generate anything from blogs to long form content.
Yeah.
And so this is a very popular application as well. I mean, tons of projects use it.
This helps a lot. Like, because writing, one of the hardest things about writing is getting past that like inertia wall of getting
the blank page
started, getting like a thought momentum going in the writing thing of itself. That's like the longest part. But if you could just get the AI to get past that barrier, then you could just fill in the holes where we kind of like made mistakes. It's just so much. It makes the life of writing so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is start with a title, and it'll just like give you some stuff to like kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, get the juices flowing.
Yeah,
that's I'm pretty sure like actual professional writers probably have like writing assistants for that reason.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why when they make a show, like there's like a room of writers, not just like one.
Yeah.
Because you need that like feedback, you know.
Yeah. So Jasper, so you leverage this application on a regular basis too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this was really good. Obviously, we're going to talk about Midjourney. So I have a subscription to this. We generate images for our YouTube video for the thumbnails.
Yeah.
And I think it does a pretty good job. I need to do a little bit more prompt engineering for Midjourney just to really perfect it.
Yeah.
But I think Midjourney is probably the most well-known AI application other than ChatGPT.
Yeah.
In terms of generating images.
Yeah, I've heard stories of like people already creating actual like commercial products like children's books and stuff like that just by leveraging ChatGPT, which we're about to talk about, and Midjourney together, right? Yeah. You can create a whole narrative and all the imagery for that support that narrative through these two apps alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Package that up together, distribute it, boom, you got yourself a bestseller. And that's just the beginning, dude. You know, this shit's getting pretty wonky.
Yeah, and if you're a creator, you could design, if you're like a game developer, you could design new weapons, gear for your character, like all of it could be.
It does a great job at that.
Yeah, it could spit all that stuff, and all you got to do is model it and put in your game, and all that design stuff, all that design hard work is just taken care of by AI.
Yeah, you don't have to wait around for weeks for like a designer to come out with these concepts.
It's like ask you a bunch of questions, like so
it's huge.
Next one, Stability AI. So this one's cool because this is where you get really narrow on the types of content it could do. Mm-hmm. So it obviously can generate images. Mm-hmm. It does a bunch of stuff, but generating images is the main one. Mm-hmm. But the way that this works is you go to stability.ai, you go to the GitHub, download the application, install it on your computer. Then you feed it training data that you can purchase. Okay. You can purchase this training data. And then now you can start perfecting the outcomes of stability or stable diffusion. And so there's this big YouTube channel called Corridor Digital. They use stable diffusion a lot, and they created an anime.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they created an anime using stable diffusion.
Yeah, and that's also like if you've seen those viral things of like really realistic basically nude women all over the internet.
That's right.
Where most people can't even tell the difference between them and like real pornographic material.
Yeah.
It's because they're using this, right? They're basically feeding real pornographic material to this engine.
That's right.
And producing like
photorealistic images.
As real as it gets. Yeah. The only thing that's a little wonky are the hands, mostly. But it's pretty goddamn insane, like how accurate it can get. And again, this is just the beginning. They're going to make refinements down the line, and these things are going to be indistinguishable.
Yeah.
What's that going to do to our economy? I don't know yet. We'll figure that out.
Yeah. So, Stability, probably as well known as Midjourney. Mm-hmm. Summarize.tech. So this summarizes videos.
This is like, what is this, dude?
Yeah, this is it, dude.
This reminds me of like Google. It's like nothing here.
Yeah.
What does it do?
So it summarizes videos, and they have a few examples like All In Podcast.
I like that podcast.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
And it gives you the timestamps every 5 minutes.
Wow.
It tells you exactly what they're talking about every 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I went and used this for the Lex Fridman podcast where he spoke for 8 hours with that one guy, Balaj. I can't even say his whole name. Yeah. He's CTO of Coinbase, because I've always been wanting to watch it, but there's just no way I could sit there for 8 hours.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It might take a few weeks to get through all that. But I put it in there, and it generated all these 5-minute segments of like summary information, and I started reading through it. I was like, holy shit, this is good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. No wonder people wanted to really liked it.
Yeah, you don't have to watch all 8 hours. You could just watch the part where they're
that too, yeah. You can click on the link and it takes you straight to that part of the video.
That's right.
Like, you find like a juicy nugget. Like, I really resonate with this part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Let me just go straight there.
Yeah. So this is very useful. We use it often as well. Yeah. Yep. Another one I use is mem.ai. So this is sort of like a note-taking app. Mm-hmm. And what it does is you just put in your notes or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be notes for, an event or your work, whatever it is. And it just kind of links everything together. Mm-hmm. And so I use this pretty often. And this is how I collected this entire list of AI stuff that I use.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
yeah, all I did was just search for AI, it gave me all the stuff associated with AI, and then I just copy and pasted.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so I like this a lot. It's a very clean interface, and this is free too. So you have to pay like I think $10 a month to access like the supercharged AI features of it, but not really.
Yeah, that's all the
necessary.
case. Most of these apps are like that, right? Because these are traditional Web 2 companies. These aren't Web 3 things where everything's running on a token.
That's
At least
right.
not yet. This is all just get the basic features for free. If you like it, pay for like a monthly subscription. You get access to like the robustness of like the full experience.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's fine. That's how the world works. That's how it's going to continue to work.
Yeah, and this is how we're having a conversation on like the products of crypto versus the products of AI.
Yeah,
like all these you can just buy and use.
that's right.
Right? There's not a whole lot of this in crypto.
That's true.
Yeah, it's but like we said, it's infrastructure phase of crypto.
Correct. And you run the risk of like all this information you're feeding to these apps of one day being compromised. Whether or not you want to accept those risks, you live and die on that sword.
That's right. That's right.
What else, dude?
All right, Jounce AI. So this is another one that I use. It's basically unlimited free AI copyright. So if you want to generate a title for your video, you want to generate a blog post. So this is a competitor to kind of like Jasper. Yeah.
Okay. So, I can see it there. Like they probably provide tons of templates,
documents, email templates, Facebook ad headlines. They have all kinds of stuff. I think they have like over 70 different templates that you can start with.
Yeah, and these things are just if you're a YouTuber.
This was free, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. If you're like an up and coming YouTuber, you're just trying to get into the content generation game. Like this is a process. Like nowadays we have like multiple people behind the veil operating this channel, right? Because it takes a lot of work to get the content like nice and spliced and the copy and everything like perfect and polished.
Yeah.
That, AI is just kind of like stepping in, dude.
Yeah.
Competing.
Yeah.
I like it.
So if you're a web designer, I mean, and you need to come up with like copy for the actual web page, it's all here.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, Genie AI. So this is one of my favorite ones.
Really?
Yeah. So Genie AI, it's pretty interesting. What it does is it's like a research assistant where you come up with a bunch of links that you want to research about. Like we want to research about Singularity Net. We want to research about, different Ethereum protocols that are being in development.
Yeah.
You feed it the white papers. You feed it links. You feed it all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll generate you summaries about what you fed it.
Yeah, this is huge.
And then within that summary, you can add that to the notes section of what you're doing research on. And then from there, you can actually, summarize different parts using the application itself. And so this is like one of the best research applications that I've seen.
It's huge for us.
And
because like literally, we can't tell you guys anything unless we do some sort of research on all the things we talk about. So this is going to make our lives so much more simpler.
Yeah. And, and so a lot of that, what we do is not any package friendly format. Like you watch a YouTube video, you get the idea, and then that's pretty much it. But we have tons of data that I think people would be interested in kind of reading about in terms of like a fundamental analysis of a given project.
Yeah.
So leveraging this application to generate summaries about white papers, I think people would be interested in kind of like breaking down our thoughts of what that white paper is.
1000% summary plus context. So we provide the context. AI provides the summarization of everything that exists, and then boom.
Yeah, the context is the reason why you'd be interested in from like a financial point of view on a particular cryptocurrency.
Correct.
And
because the white paper is not going to tell you is like this is why our ecosystem is valuable.
Right.
It's just going to just tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody, or maybe our personal AI one day, will be able to tell you why this is like an actual opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. We need to provide the context.
Yeah. So this is extremely powerful. I use it all the time just to kind of keep my notes on everything that we're doing. And I literally use it every day. Next one, Firefly.
Yeah, we're gonna have to speed through these, I guess.
Yeah, Firefly.ai. So this one listens into your Zoom call and it generates agenda points and summaries and everything.
That one's also huge because there's so many. Well, Zoom.
Well, it could be anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you can record something, feed that recording to it, and it'll generate everything.
Because there's been so many times where it's like, you know, before we record these things, we have pregame sessions where we're just talking about everything.
Yeah.
That has value in itself. So you could always generate.
You know what? That's a good workflow. Like you and I just talking about and hashing out like our thoughts of a given cryptocurrency. We could record that whole thing, feed it to this AI, get a summary of our conversations, and use that to like, you know, create a video off of it.
1000%.
Yeah,
that's value.
All right, Clip Maker, another one. So grow on TikTok and Instagram with your YouTube videos.
This one's huge because we suck at this. Like we are ass at TikTok and Instagram.
So what's cool about this is that they use AI to generate short clips from your YouTube videos. Yeah. So another one where kind of makes life easier for our editors.
For Gen Z and shit. Like they're probably like, dude, I don't need this. I do this.
I start with TikTok.
But for us millennials and up, like, dude, that's so much friction to like get on those platforms and find good content for them. So this is a life changer for sure.
Yeah, all the links will be in the description. Last one,
ChatGPT,
OpenAI,
probably the golden goose of the whole AI product space. Yeah, right.
But take a look at this, introducing ChatGPT and Whisper APIs. So now they're showcasing all the different projects. Look at that. Snapchat using it.
Yeah.
And they have Quizlet. You can have AI ask you questions about biology.
Wow.
And it will quiz you and stuff.
That's genius. That's a great idea.
Instacart. They have Shopify. So all this stuff, like they're leveraging everybody's leveraging it because it's useful. Yeah. And so so that's another like point here is like everyone's got to start using these AI products. And then finally, we have in-world. So so imagine a future game where you're interacting with the artificial intelligence of all these different NPCs for like a detective game. And the NPCs are responding to your questions. And now, you know, think of the future where in gaming, instead of having dumb NPCs, they're actually intelligent. They're like context aware. Yeah. And you could create a game that is like aware of what's going on in reality, right? So kind of like a mixed reality type of game. And so what they do is they allow developers to leverage their kind of like a character AI. And enable it for your game, enable it for whatever application you can think of.
Yeah, they had a demo where we just looked at before we recorded, and it was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like this is gonna kind of like introduce a whole new like game sector, I guess, gameplay. Yeah. You know how games have their own little categories. There's like battle royales. Yeah. There's MOBAs. There's RPGs. I don't know what the hell they're gonna call this, but generative gameplay, I guess maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
G games.
Interactive AI.
Interactive, something like that, because RPGs are interactive, but this is like where each player of that game is going to have their own unique experience because based on how they interact and feedback with these AIs, that changes the rest of the scope of the game, you know? So I could see that taking off.
I definitely can too.
Yeah, and that's something, so this is an example of, I mean, not many people can leverage this. This is more straight up game developer focused.
Game developers, yeah.
But keep your eyes open for games that are tapping into this because this is going to be interesting.
Exactly. All right. Well, all the links will be in the description. Make sure, let us know if you have any questions. Do you recommend any other AI stuff that we haven't really talked about? Let us know in the comment section below. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at Meadowzone.io, and at Roby AI, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.